good luck, Taylor. Hopefully you'll carry on finding amazing things. It sounded like an awesome sighting of a spotted eagle. It's been a long time since I've seen one of those, so that's very cool. Actually, last night we did see an owl as well, which I think, I mean, I didn't get a good look at it at all, and it's a big assumption, but it's right where we saw that last barn owl in close to Buffelshoek Dam last night, and we saw it fly off, and it looked a bit barn owlish, but couldn't really say for sure. Either way, it doesn't matter. We are still with Tingana, and he's still twitchy. He's not his normal, relaxed, full, happy cat self when he's got a meal. He's looking over at that carcass and just kind of staring in there, and any movement causes him to kind of twitch and his ears to move and his eyes to go, and he's got his nose up to the air constantly. Maybe Thandi and Tlalamba are also here. Look at that, you see? He's looking over back towards that carcass. What's going on, Tingy? Now, if it was lions, I don't think he would have made that call. Lions that would be attracting attention to himself, but I wonder what's going on. Something is not right, and something is not making him happy at all. That calling would generally mean another leopard, though. Romit, if Hukamuri is here, I would be very surprised. We are way away from his territory. I mean, we're on the opposite side. We have seen Hukamuri come here, but that was back when Tingana was sick and wasn't moving around at all. So I would be very surprised if Hukamuri was in this area. I don't know what it is, to be honest. It's just unusual behavior, and maybe we just kind of reading too much into it. Maybe he's just shy with all the hyenas around. But that little call that he's made now is not his full-blooded saw. It was almost like a little contact call, and I've heard him make that sound when he's been around Thandi and Tlalamba and Hosana quite often. So maybe one of them's arrived. I don't know what's going on with him, but hopefully we'll kind of be able to see what happens. We'll just sit with him for the morning and kind of figure it out, and hopefully he'll kind of either join up with other leopards, or there'll be sort of something will reveal itself as to why Tingana is not doing his normal thing. The thing about when he was eating is because he was eating until that hyena ran in. When that hyena ran in, he stopped feeding, bolted straight upright, and looked the opposite direction, and then he just jumped out and ran. And that's not Tingana's normal way of doing things. He normally kind of will get down the tree, and yes, the hyenas will chase him and he'll jog off a little bit, but then he'll find a comfy spot and just go flat and sleep there. Whereas he's walked a long way from that carcass now. We probably, I would say, a good 200 meters from the carcass, and he kind of keeps it's quite funny. There's a stickler competing with Tingana for noise. You can see it in the background there, a little white tail. He kind of... Yes, I feel like Tingana will win. Although Tingana glanced off at it to say, hello, hang on, this is my show. I'm trying to make a noise. You can't make a noise at the same time. But he's now calling again. You see, he's looking over his shoulder back. This is the direction where he's looking now, is where the kill is at the moment. But that sawing that he's doing is interesting. I mean, I suppose there is a scent of another male leopard around, so that he would be sawing would kind of tell other male leopards that he's here, but I don't know, he just looks a bit more kind of twitchy than normal, doesn't he? He's normally a bit of a dopey fella at times, but today he looks a little bit more serious and a bit more kind of, what's going on? Mom, you say Tingana's soaring sounds like a pig. Well, I don't think Tingana will be too impressed to hear that. I think he's probably thinking to himself, I do not sound anything like a pig. This is a majestic saw of a big cat. Excuse me, and thank you very much. No, I suppose it does have a little bit of a piggish sound to it, but it's definitely, I suppose, the best way that a leopard can communicate. And I love the sound of a saw. It's one of those sounds that, you know, it's not quite as impressive as a lion roar in terms of the amount of sound that's produced, but for me it always just makes me super excited, because it's either a good omen that there's something around and you can try and find a leopard, or you're sitting with one, and then that's a very good thing too. So I absolutely love a leopard call. There's something about it, and you, especially in areas where you know leopards are shy, it's often an indication that leopards are there. If you hear them sawing, then you can kind of know that they're around. But what have you seen, Tingana? I am looking everywhere to try and see if I can find something here that's kind of following him or moving around here. and I can't see a single thing. I'm looking back towards the kill, don't see anything there. But something is definitely keeping him very twitchy. Carol, no, not necessarily. I mean, he would soar to try and establish himself and to make sure everybody knows this is his territory. Remember that there was another leopard here last night. It definitely wasn't Tingana. So it definitely wasn't Tingana that was here last night at all. And so this sawing that we're hearing now could just be to reaffirm to that male that was here, listen, buddy, this is my area, don't come here. This is where I am dominant, this is where I patrol. Stay out and stay away. I'm not hearing any response call, so if it was another male leopard, you would hear who was challenging him, you would hear it sawing back. It wouldn't stay quiet. So this is more him just kind of sending a statement. Like I say, if it was lions around, I don't think he would be making a noise. I think he'd be trying to get away and stay as quiet as possible and just kind of wait for the lions to pass and then go back to his kill. So it's an interesting kind of display of behavior. Honestly, you have no idea why he's being the way he's being this morning. The sawing I can understand. Like I said, that's if another leopard was around, he's going to make a lot of noise about it, and he's going to be very irritable about the fact that another leopard was in his territory. So I understand that sawing, but the way he moved away from his kill intrigues me. Maybe he just saw something that he wasn't sure about. Either way, does he not look absolutely fantastic when you see him like that? His neck is monstrous, his head is looking big, and he's looking a very different picture to what we saw 8 months ago at the beginning of this year. It really is amazing, the recovery of this leopard, and just goes to show that looking after these animals, they can look after themselves. So sometimes when we want to interfere, it actually is not necessary, as these guys will come right on their own accord. Right, now let's send you back across to Steve in the Mara. I'm not 100% sure what he's busy with. I did hear him say something, but I wasn't really paying too much attention because I was busy looking at how good Tingana looks, and so I got distracted. But I'm pretty sure whatever it is will be good, and hopefully we'll be able to show you something entertaining.